Long before trick-or-treating and carved pumpkins, there existed a celebration that touched the very essence of human existence, the relationship between the living and the dead. Halloween stands as one of humanity's oldest traditions, a festival that has evolved across thousands of years, yet maintains its ancient soul. Every civilization throughout recorded history has grappled with the mysteries of death, creating rituals to honor those who have passed and to protect themselves from spirits unwilling to move on. This is the story of how an ancient Celtic harvest festival transformed into the worldwide celebration we know today. The story begins over 2,000 years ago with the Celts, who inhabited the lands we now call Ireland, Scotland, and parts of France. They celebrated Samhain, pronounced Su-wen, which marked the Celtic New Year and meant summer's end. As October gave way to November, the harvest season closed and the cold grip of winter approached. But Samhain was far more than a seasonal marker. The Celts believed that on this night, the boundary between the world of the living and the realm of the dead grew impossibly thin, almost transparent. On this most mystical of nights, the dead could return to walk among the living once more. Departed loved ones might visit their old homes, seeking the warmth of familiar hearths. Those who had died in the past year, perhaps confused or reluctant to leave, could finally make their journey to the other side. The Celts welcomed their ancestors with open arms, setting out favorite foods and drink to honor their memory. But not all visitors were welcome. Alongside benevolent spirits came darker entities, mischievous fairies, malevolent elves, and spirits that had never worn human form at all. To survive this perilous night, the ancient Celts developed clever protections. They gathered bones from slaughtered cattle and hurled them into great communal fires, creating what they called bone fires, which would eventually become known as bonfires. The flames roared high into the night sky, their light meant to guide good spirits home while warding off malevolent ones. But fire alone was not enough. People blackened their faces with ashes from these sacred fires, disguising themselves so that wandering spirits would not recognize them. This practice, called guising, evolved into wearing elaborate masks, allowing the living to move safely through a world populated by the dead. For centuries, these traditions continued, passed down through generations of Celtic peoples. But in the 5th century, a new force arrived in Ireland that would forever transform these ancient customs: Christianity. Saint Patrick and his followers brought their faith to the island, and the church set about converting the population. Rather than destroying pagan traditions outright, the church adopted a clever strategy. They Christianized existing festivals, weaving Christian meaning into ancient celebrations. This pattern would repeat across Europe, transforming temples into churches, pagan symbols into Christian icons, and old festivals into new holy days. The church's transformation of Samhain began in the 7th century, when Pope Boniface IV established All Saints' Day on the 13th of May. This feast honored Christian saints and martyrs who had no dedicated day of their own. But in the 8th century, Pope Gregory III made a fateful decision. He moved All Saints' Day to the 1st of November. The night before, the 31st of October, became All Hallows' Eve. While some scholars debate the motivation, the timing was too perfect to be coincidence. The church had claimed Samhain, wrapping the ancient Celtic festival in Christian vestments. Yet the old ways proved remarkably resilient. Bonfires still blazed on the hills of Ireland, though now they were said to honor Christian saints rather than guide pagan spirits. People still gathered to feast and celebrate the turning of the year, though prayers to Christ replaced ancient invocations. By the 16th century, A new tradition had emerged from this blending of old and new: souling. On All Hallows' Eve, the poor would travel from door to door, knocking and requesting soul cakes, small sweet treats in exchange for prayers. They promised to pray for the souls of the homeowner's deceased loved ones, believing these prayers could lift souls from purgatory's torments. Then, in the 17th century, an explosive event added a new layer to the evolving tradition. On the 5th of November, 1605, a group of Catholic conspirators attempted to assassinate Protestant King James I of Britain in what became known as the Gunpowder Plot. Guy Fawkes, one of the conspirators, was discovered beneath the House of Lords with barrels of gunpowder. The plot failed, and Guy Fawkes became infamous. Every year thereafter, Protestants in Britain celebrated the king's survival with bonfires, fireworks, and festivities. Children wore masks and went door to door with effigies of Guy Fawkes, demanding money or treats and threatening mischief if refused. When British colonists sailed to North America, they carried these traditions across the Atlantic. The Puritans of New England, severe in their beliefs, rejected most holidays as pagan corruption, even refusing to celebrate Christmas or Easter. But Guy Fawkes' Day they embraced with enthusiasm, seeing it as a righteous reminder of their Protestant superiority. Every 5th of November, they lit bonfires and hung effigies, celebrating until the American Revolution of 1775 to 1783 severed ties with Britain. Guy Fawkes' Day faded in America, but its customs of masks, door-to-door visits, and threatened mischief remained in the cultural memory. The true transformation of Halloween in America came not from Britain, but from Ireland. Between 1845 and 1849, a devastating potato famine ravaged Ireland, forcing millions to flee. They arrived in America carrying little more than their memories and traditions. Among these was the celebration of All Hallows' Eve, complete with ancient practices barely disguised by Christian names. They brought stories of supernatural encounters, rituals of protection, and most famously, the legend of Stingy Jack, a cunning drunkard who tricked the devil himself into promising never to claim his soul. According to legend, Stingy Jack died after his wicked life, but neither heaven nor hell would accept him. The devil, bound by his promise, turned Jack away, leaving him to wander the earth forever in darkness. Taking pity, the devil tossed Jack a single ember from hell's fires. Jack placed this coal inside a carved turnip, creating a lantern to light his endless journey. The Irish believed Jack still roamed on All Hallows' Eve, when the veil between worlds grew thin. To protect themselves, they carved faces into turnips and placed candles inside, warding off Stingy Jack and spirits like him. But in America, the Irish discovered something far better than turnips for carving: pumpkins. The basics of modern Halloween now fell into place like pieces of an ancient puzzle. Irish Americans continued the tradition of going door to door, but the soul cakes became candy and sweets. The protective masks grew more elaborate and festive, and the humble turnip lantern transformed into the iconic jack-o'-lantern, carved from large orange pumpkins that were easier to hollow out and far more dramatic when illuminated. Yet one troubling aspect of Guy Fawkes' Day persisted: vandalism. As October 31st approached each year, communities braced for destruction. Masked young people roamed the streets, overturning carts, soaping windows, and causing mayhem. In the small village of Hiawatha, Kansas, a woman named Elizabeth Krebs reached her breaking point. On the morning after Halloween in 1912, she surveyed the destruction of her beloved garden and the vandalism throughout her town. She decided enough was enough. The following year, in 1913, Mrs. Krebs used her own resources to organize a party for the young people, hoping to tire them out before they could cause trouble. Her plan failed spectacularly, and the town was vandalized as usual. But Mrs. Krebs refused to give up. In 1914, she mobilized the entire community, bringing in a band, organizing a costume contest, and staging a grand parade. This time, her plan worked beautifully. People of all ages enjoyed music, dancing, delicious food, and friendly competition for the best costume. The frightening decorations of ghosts and goblins added excitement without destruction. News of her success spread beyond Kansas, inspiring towns and cities across America to adopt similar celebrations. While Mrs. Krebs did not invent trick-or-treating, her vision of Halloween as a community celebration rather than a night of chaos profoundly shaped how Americans would observe the holiday. The Halloween frolic of Hiawatha continues to this day, a testament to one woman's determination to transform mischief into magic. Yet even as parties became popular, the tradition of door-to-door visits evolved separately. By the 1920s, Mischief Night had become a serious problem across North America. The exact moment when, "Give me a treat or I'll play a trick on you," replaced actual vandalism remains mysterious. But by 1927, the phrase "trick or treat" appeared in print for the first time in a newspaper from Blackie, Alberta, Canada. Children had discovered a better bargain. Homeowners gladly gave candy in exchange for being left in peace. The practice spread throughout the 1930s, paused during World War II when sugar rationing made candy scarce, then exploded in popularity during the 1950s. Today, Halloween has become a global celebration, second only to Christmas in popularity and commercial success. From Mexico's Day of the Dead to China's Tomb Sweeping Day, cultures worldwide honor their deceased loved ones with festivals that echo ancient human needs. Modern Halloween, stripped of specific religious meaning for many, functions as a secular community holiday that brings neighborhoods together. Children delight in costumes and candy, families carve pumpkins, and communities gather for parties and parades. Yet beneath the commercial surface, the ancient themes persist. Transformation remains central. We become someone or something else for a night, confronting our fears by embodying them. For neo-pagans and Wiccans, Halloween remains a sacred time, observed as closely as possible to ancient Samhain traditions. They honor the thin veil between worlds, remembering ancestors and acknowledging the eternal cycle of life, death, and rebirth. The masks and costumes of Halloween connect us to those ancient Celts who darkened their faces with bonfire ashes. The werewolves and vampires represent our fears, transformed into something we can control and even mock. The jack-o'-lanterns still ward off unwanted spirits, just as they did when carved from turnips in Ireland centuries ago. At its deepest level, Halloween celebrates humanity's eternal hope that we can face our fears, honor our dead, and transform darkness into light. From the hilltop bonfires of ancient Ireland to the glowing jack-o'-lanterns on modern porches, from soul cakes to candy bars, from turnip lanterns to elaborate costumes, Halloween has journeyed through 2,000 years of human history. It survived the fall of Celtic culture, adapted to Christian dominance, crossed oceans with desperate immigrants, and evolved into a worldwide phenomenon. The holiday reminds us that some human experiences transcend time and culture. Our need to remember those who came before us, our desire to face our fears, and our hope that transformation is always possible. When we don our costumes each October 31st, We join an unbroken chain stretching back through countless generations to those ancient Celts who first lit their bone fires against the darkness. If you enjoyed learning about the incredible journey of Halloween from ancient Celtic rituals to modern traditions, give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more fascinating historical deep dives, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an episode. Which Halloween tradition surprised you most? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.